This video is all about the integration of Blackboard and MathXL. When you log into your Blackboard account, again, go ahead and click on the elementary homeroom course that you have already preloaded. From there, you and students can go into the particular course that it is that you're interested in studying and looking over. From there, once students enter into a unit of study, watch the videos for the lesson, and they take notes, the next step is to move into MathXL for School. The easiest way and the quickest way to get there is by clicking on MathXL for School in the black panel. It will automatically open up into an account for EasyBridge. Go ahead and log in. If you don't have an EasyBridge username and password, the next step is for you to click on the Forgot Your Username and Password and check your email, and that'll allow you to go ahead and set that password at that time. From there, you should see your elementary accelerated math roster loaded. Clicking on the arrow will allow your link for MathXL to drop down, and you can click for access through this link. You will also see a student roster, meaning the students that the office manager has placed into this roster specifically to load the accelerated math product, the MathXL product. By clicking on this roster, you can go in and see the names that have been placed in that roster. Kids can be added as you feel needed just by simply contacting the office manager and having them added to your course. Your instructor homepage will load first, but notice on the panel that you do have an instructor portion of the panel. You also have an instructor portion of the panel. The student panel comes in very handy when you want to go in and see what does a student see, what does this look like from a student perspective. The instructor side, you will mostly be using your gradebook setting. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the student side. I'm going to click on homework and tests and talk through some of the things that we see. The first thing that you're going to notice is that there's a series of green flags listed. These are prerequisites that are set ahead of time that basically is telling the student that you cannot enter into lesson 2 until lesson 1 is complete at 90% or better. Anything that you see listed as a blue circle lesson, those are really called homework lessons, simply for the fact that when we design in MathXL, you are required to label or categorize the lessons that you design. I like to design in homework lessons, those are the blue circles, as students get extra help features. They can also enter into these lessons as many times as needed to get to that 90% or better. Notice towards the bottom of the page there is a green diamond. That green diamond is actually standing for the fact that this is an assessment type of an assignment. For the attempts, notice that there are 0 of 2 attempts in this case. What that means is a student can enter into this assignment a maximum of 2 times, and they need to get 90% or better in order for the next lesson to open. If that doesn't happen, I do ask that the student communicate that with you and that you two design a plan, kind of a plan of action to determine what is it that the student needs to do, redo, study before the next attempt happens. Another option that you're going to see is the ability to enter in through the gradebook under the instructor panel, where you can actually open any assignment with a student sitting with you by the computer, and you guys can talk through those types of questions, and you can grant the point as needed to move the student on depending on that level of conversation that you have. Here you're going to see an entry for the Math Accelerated students. Students will not actually appear on this page until they have officially logged in for the very first time, and then they will populate. I'm going to go ahead and click on a student name. Notice for training, this student was able to go into lesson 1 and was able to get a 50% so far on this assignment. Notice how on the instructor's side here, I can hit review. And I could go in and see that this student got question 1 correct, question 2 correct because of the green check marks. Question 3 is incorrect. However, sometimes if you are activating the help feature on a question and let's say that class time is over and you hit the save button without inserting an answer, it will temporarily mark a question wrong, so be aware of that when you're checking scores. And question 4, it looks like there was no attempt made at this time. So based on this information, I'm looking at this thinking, wow, the student has probably run out of time and will need some additional time the following day to complete this lesson. I'm going to go ahead and open up question 3 and let's take a look. Notice when I click in the answer box to go ahead and be like I'm ready to type in an answer, notice at the very bottom of the screen I have a variety of ways that I can type in a solution, and there's even more hidden behind here. So lots of different ways we can select and type in a solution. Notice up at the top we have a grade section. At this time this student has not had a chance to answer this question, but let's say that perhaps there was a possibility that the student made a typing error, which will happen. Sitting with the student at this time, talking through this question, looking at their evidence of written work and notes, you may decide that what they've typed in is great and that they are ready to move on and don't need to spend more time on this. All you need to do at that point is change that 0 to a 1, push submit grade, and the response will then change the total grade. The next feature I'd like to talk about is question help. Students have a lot of help features through the blue circle homework assignments. View an example is one option. In view an example, a student is given this exact same question in a help window and led through step by step how to solve this type of a situation. But the minute they close the help window, the numbers in the problem regenerate and the student will then see new numbers right here where it says 50 feet by 35 feet. Then when they hit the close window, those two numbers will change and the student will then need to go back through the process to answer the question with the correct numbers at this time. Ask My Instructor is another help feature that is available. When students click on Ask My Instructor, an email box will come up, and with that box, students will be able to email you, and on your end, the email then will come through in such a way that you will be able to see the question that the student was stuck on. I'm going to go ahead and close the responses for this student. I'm going to go back to Gradebook. And I'm going to go ahead and click on another student. I'm going to push review. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and click on question 4. And it looks like in question 4, the student either didn't have time to respond, or in the past, I've had students where they've typed in their answer, but they just necessarily hit the close button, so it didn't really go through and calculate a grade yet, but that will be coming in the future. Close this. That is all there is to MathXL. If you have any questions, please make sure that you contact me and we can start adding those questions to like a frequently asked questions page and we can get those answers released right away. Thank you.